Hey there, it's Dope666. Welcome to part 3 of my DVD update for horror movies and my collection. Moving right along, we start off with a movie called Fright Night. Good old school 1980s vampire film. Stars Chris Sarandon, Roddy McDowall, and Amanda Bearse. And can't really say much about it. Good storyline. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen, and it's not any of this bullshit Twilight caca. So yeah, pick up Fright Night. Check it out. And there's also some sequels. I think one sequel as well. Next up, I got these two movies at Rite Aid, and they're 3-packs, both of them, from the same releasing, I believe. This one has Topper Returns, Spooks Run Wild, and King of the Zombies, and I haven't seen any of these except for King of the Zombies, which was a decent zombie film for its time period. Not gory, but nevertheless, these are all good throwbacks, I would suppose, for these are the two. And on this one, Nightmare Castle, Tormented, and The Spirit Hunter. Spirit Hunter was pretty cool. Nightmare Castle was okay, you know, old school. If you like it, I don't know how to talk about it, but I liked it okay. And Tormented I haven't seen yet. But I'll let you know how Topper Returns, Spooks Run Wild, and Tormented are when I get around to watching them. Next up, we have these 5 here I've purchased in the past. If there are any 90s kids watching this video, then you'll definitely remember the series Goosebumps. And I was pretty young in the 90s. I don't know, I didn't like scary movies or anything in the 90s. I didn't even watch Goosebumps. Go figure. But anyway, I pick them up now because I really like them, and I don't know what it is about them because they're just so terrible, but they're so addicting. And they come back every October on our Cartoon Network, and for a few months after, and then they take them away again. But definitely check them out. I mean, it's like extremely low budget horror films for kids, and I don't know how to put it in better terms than that. I like them, and I've got Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns. Also, The Ghost Next Door, Say Cheese and Die, How I Got My Shrunken Head, I believe Deep Trouble, and Cry of the Cat. And I don't know, I like them. I don't know, it's just a way of watching. I don't know. Good films though. Next up, I got this, and it's got it at Walmart for $5, and it's got all the movies from here they are. I'm gonna just list them off for you. Blood of Dracula's Castle, Blood Mania, Brain Twisters, The Devil's Hand, The Madmen of Mandoris, which was also called They Saved Hitler's Brain, and Nightmare in Wax, Primeval, Satan's Slave, Stanley, Terrified, Terror, and Triple the Teacher. And I gotta say, this is worth $5 in my opinion, but for one reason. And that one reason is 2 of the films. The only movies I would recommend seeing out of this are Terrified and Terror. Everything else is horrible. I started off watching the first movie, Blood of Dracula's Castle. The film is all damaged. It's just horrible. Terrible films. But Terrified and Terror, look those up, or if you can find this at Walmart, I'm pretty sure they'll still have it around, because it doesn't seem to be selling well, and with good reason. But definitely check out those 2 films if you can find a copy of this. This is a big case. It's got all the discs in there. They come in little paper cases. I've actually seen the different packaging for this too on the interior, but that's how mine came. Next up, I've got Gremlins by Steven Spielberg, and gotta love Gremlins. It wasn't too scary of a horror film because it was more of a children's horror flick. And I don't know, you can't really outgrow Gremlins. It's a good film. Next up, I've got all 8 of the original Halloweens. I don't have the remakes yet, but here's number 1. They're really cool little casing with the metallic thing. 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 for a double feature, and they only put 3 in there because no one would buy it separate. I don't know why, because I really like number 3. If you don't, you're a fucking idiot, because Michael Myers isn't in it. I don't give a fuck. Okay? But listen to me, I'm ranting. Next up, he comes back in number 4, number 5, number 6, and this is where they started getting pretty gory. I mean, that guy's head exploded in this one. Really cool effect. And organic too. Fuck CGI, I gotta say that. Number 7 was when they started making into those 90s horror films. I don't know, I didn't like these all that much. From 7 and 8, they tried to modernize Halloween too much, and it just lost the feeling of the older movies. The remakes were good too. I actually like those. And this is a good slasher film called Happy Birthday to Me. Good Canadian slasher film, good storyline, decent amount of gore. Gotta love it. They sell it at Walmart now, so go pick it up. I recommend this film. Good throwback. There's a new age slasher called Hatchet. I didn't think I'd find this so fast because like it seemed to be kind of limited in copies. I don't know, but it was a cool film. Really, really gory. Although it had a lot of CGI, I didn't like that. And kind of gross at most parts. Not even with the gore. Just watch it. You'll know what I mean. Next up, I got this. It's called Haunted, and it's basically about 16 tales of horror. And I haven't watched this yet because it's so damn long. I'll get around to watching it and let you know how it goes when I get the time. Next one I found at Rite Aid, $2.99. I couldn't believe it. Such an amazing film and so underrated, and no one watches it. But it's Hell Night with Linda Blair, and really shitty release. I mean, it didn't even have a main menu until the film ended. But this was a really good film. I loved it. First time I watched it, I was in awe. Just an amazing horror movie. Good old slasher film. This release was not very good. I mean, it even looked like a fake one when I picked it up. But it came with the original poster art for the theaters and a little chapter card. But I recommend getting Hell Night for sure. A lot of people I watched it with didn't like it, so, you know, don't be surprised. I'm not lying to you or anything, but I liked it a lot. This next one is Hellraiser. How could you go wrong with Hellraiser? Decent amount of blood, good storyline. Really keeps you on the edge of your seat if you haven't seen it before. That's all I can say about Hellraiser. I don't want to ruin it for you. This next up was a double feature that my dad bought a couple years earlier, and it's an older DVD when they were first starting to come out, and it's House on Haunted Hill and Last Man on Earth, and it's basically a Vincent Price double release. And interestingly enough, Last Man on Earth, I looked it up, is actually the original I Am Legend. Go figure. Both are decent horror films. Vincent Price is my hero. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this next one because there's so many movies in it. It comes with 50. I picked this up at Best Buy, and it's Horror Classics. And there's so many. I mean, there's a few gems, but it's a pretty terrible collection. I'm not gonna lie. Next up, we have the Horror 4-pack, and it's got one of my least favorite movies, but most favorite to watch. It's got Skeleton Man. It's the only one I've seen so far, but I don't know what it was about it. I liked it, but at the same time, it was fucking horrible. And the other 3 movies I haven't got around to watching yet, and those are Wages of Sin, Live Animals, and Roman, and I'll let you know how those go when I get around to watching them. Next up, I have a double feature by Val Lewton, and it's Isle of the Dead and Bedlam. Good old school horror. No lie. Very good stuff. Good throwbacks. Same thing. This next movie really moved me emotionally, and not because it was brutal or anything, you know, but a good storyline. I couldn't be happier when I stopped watching it. It just made me think, you know. And it's Stephen King's It. And they couldn't have made the ending any better. I mean, it was a television horror movie. What they could have done with that monster if it was a real big budget movie, who knows? It could have been very cool. But even as it is, this movie is amazing in my opinion. And definitely watch this. Pick this up. I recommend it. I recommend it for sure. And this time limit's coming up because you can't do 10 minutes on YouTube, and I say that's fucking stupid, but whatever. So I'll get back to you on the 4th update.